Hello, comadres and compadres. This is your host, Cristal, and you're listening to Te Invito un Cafecito. And in this second episode, I want to share with you something from the bottom of my heart. This whole project, this podcast was created out of a deep desire of me to help others. But I do have to confess that the same energy and the same effort that I put into planning the podcast was the same effort and energy that took me to launch the podcast, because I had a lot of doubts. I had a lot of fear. I had a lot of perfectionism. I had a lot of insecurity, and I wanted it to be perfect. It just came with a lot of emotions that I didn't expect and definitely didn't want. But oh well, here we are now. And today I want you to reflect on something as you listen to the episode. And the question is, I wrote it down because if not, I'll forget. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. What's that one thing you've been wanting to start for a long time but haven't dared to do so? Today, we're going to talk about that moment where you're standing on the edge of something and you're about to do that jump, but somehow you hear this little voice in your head saying, don't do it. Today, I want to speak to that part of you that has a dream, a desire, a goal, something bubbling inside their heart, waiting for the world to hear it, but you just haven't done so yet. Notice how I said yet. I want to share to you that I know how it feels because I've been there. And I just published my first guest interview. And while I did have a lot of good emotions, I had a lot of gratitude, I had a lot of joy, felt a lot of fear. I feared that I couldn't keep up with it. I feared that it wouldn't be enough. I feared that I would disappoint myself. And the list goes on. I'll be sharing with you along the way. And before launching the podcast, I kept on telling myself so many times, like, just a couple more weeks. I'm just gonna hold on. But the truth is, I was scared. I was scared of failing. I was scared of failing and failing publicly. Failing in the eyes of everybody, all the whole world to see that I wasn't able to do it. But guess what? That didn't stop me from following my dreams and desires. And it shouldn't stop you either. And it just made me wonder how many people are feeling this way. How many other people don't dare to start because they're afraid, because they have so much fear inside of them. And I want you to know that this episode isn't just about me. It's about you, and it's about all those people waiting for the right moment to start. Before the first episode, I didn't spend weeks. I spent months planning for this. I made lists. I planned the topics. I wrote so many ideas. And I even pictured the face of excitement that I would have of me seeing the first episode go live. But even with all these things that I pictured in my head and all these things that I imagined, I still didn't do it because I was afraid. I was afraid of messing up. I was afraid that no one would listen to it. I was afraid of disappointing myself. But you know what I realized? Fear is normal. It means you're growing. It doesn't mean that you're not capable of doing things. So now I want to ask you, what is that thing that you've been wanting to do for a long time, but haven't done so because of fear? Maybe it's a podcast like me. Maybe it's going to therapy. Maybe it's going back to school. Maybe it's leaving your parents' house. Maybe it's starting a business. Maybe it's writing a book. I don't know. Whatever it is, it just lives here. Like, it just keeps on circling in your head and you just keep dreaming about it. But for whatever reason, you don't dare to do it. And I want you to know that you are not too late, because starting has no expiration date, homegirl or homeboy. We have been told so many times that in order to start something big, we have to be ready. That it has to be perfect, that it has to be perfectly planned, that it has to... all this nonsense that you know what I'm talking about because you've told it to yourself or you've heard it from other people. But let me tell you something. That feeling of being 100% ready, it never comes. It never comes, honey. It never comes. Because there's always going to be an excuse. There's always going to be a doubt. There's always going to be something holding you back. But that doesn't mean you can't start. Confidence is not required to start. Like, I did not start confident. If anything, I was a complete opposite of confident before starting. But I can tell you something. Confidence has been coming to me after I decided to start, after doing that leap of faith and deciding to do what was hard for me to do. I'll share with you a little story of how it is that I decided to post the first episode. So it was a regular Sunday, right? I did not wake up saying to myself, oh, today's gonna be the day that I post episode. Like, no, it was just a regular Sunday. We were watching a movie in the couch, my husband and I, and all of a sudden, like, I just feel this urge, this crazy urge that I was like, you know what, today's the day. And I remember jumping out of the couch and I go running into the other room to get my laptop, and then my husband's like, where are you going? And I'm like, I'm yelling from the other room, like, I'm gonna publish it now. And yeah, I don't know how to explain it, but I just felt this big adrenaline rush that something was telling me, you have to publish it now. And I genuinely believe that it was God, because there was no way that I was going to publish it anytime soon because I kept on telling myself, oh no, I'm just going to give it a couple more weeks. Like I'm just gonna change a little bit this, and I'm gonna tweak this a little bit more, and I'm gonna change the plans and blah blah blah. But deep down, I wasn't doing it because I was afraid of failing, of very afraid of failing publicly, and for everybody to see that I wasn't good enough. And yeah, just putting myself out there and exposing myself and exposing my face, and I don't know, it was just a very uncomfortable feeling, but I still did it. And right now, I can tell you that when I pressed that publish button, I felt a roller coaster of emotions. Like I literally went from 0 to 100 really quick. I felt a lot of excitement, but I immediately felt a lot of fear right after, a lot of fear of failing. Um, but like I said, I didn't let that from stopping me, and it shouldn't stop you either. So if you have been feeling that urge, those butterflies, something telling you to do it, trust your instincts, trust yourself. And there's also another phrase that I want to share with you, and it says, I don't need to feel ready to start. I need to start to discover how capable I really am. So let that sink in. And I also want to share with you two relatable stories of two persons that I know, regular human beings, just like you and me, that let fear aside and decided to start with fear and all. The first one is there's this gentleman at work that I know, and he opened his business at a very young age. And he didn't have a business degree, he didn't have a roadmap or someone holding his hand and telling him, hey, this is how you do this is how you do that. But you know what he did have? A deep desire to serve. He was hungry for work. And a lot of years later, I'm pretty sure he's the richest person that I know. And the second one, I have a friend who published his book last year. And he wrote a book without being a journalist. He doesn't have a journalism degree. But you know what he had? He had a lot of pants. And I admired him for that. And what do these both have in common? They started with what they had at that moment, not with what they wish they had. Most importantly, those imperfect steps change their lives. And not only their lives, I'm pretty sure by them deciding to take that leap of faith, other lives were also impacted by their change. Now I want to do a little exercise with you. I want to invite you to close your eyes if you can, right? Like don't be going 70, 80 on the freeway and then close your eyes and say, well, Crystal from Te Invito un Cafecito told me. No, only if you're able to. I want you to close your eyes for a couple of seconds and start imagining how already being at your goal, already taking that leap of faith and doing whatever it is that your heart has been desiring. How do you feel about it? What comes to your mind? How does it feel to already be living that dream that you've been dreaming about? What do you see? And now I want you to open your eyes and get a notebook or your phone or whatever it is that you take your notes in and write on top the thing that I will do today to get closer to my goal is, and then just start writing. Whatever comes to your mind. Even if it's just one thing that comes to your mind right now, write it. However small it is, just write it. And I also want to share with you three thoughts that came to my mind a lot while I was going through the process. I want to make an emphasis that these weren't the only three thoughts that came into my mind, but I believe these are the three that will resonate with people the most. And I wrote them down. And the first one is, if it's not perfect, why even do it? Guess what? False, honey. False. Very false. Because beauty doesn't come from perfectionism. The value comes from the heart and from being genuine. And number two, this one I said it to myself too many times. It says, too many people are already doing this. You know what I told myself? So, not everybody has my voice. Not everybody has my story. And you should tell yourself the same thing. Because not everybody is you. And number three, I don't know enough yet. Well, let me tell you the truth. I still don't know enough. I'm still very new, right? But I know I could be doing this for 30, 50 years and I know I won't probably ever be, not that I won't ever be enough, but it probably won't ever know enough because with the technology evolving right now and all the things changing, there's always going to be new technology. There's always going to be new things that I don't know. And I don't think anybody starts with being an expert. And if they do, please send them my way because I want to interview them. And another phrase that I want to share with you that I came across with is this one. It says, what makes you unique isn't what you know, it's how you decide to share it with the world. Let that sink in too. And now I want to close this cafecito with an invitation. Start with a small step. That item that you wrote on your list, work on it now. Work on it today, however small it is. But be intentional with it. Be real about it and make it count towards that goal that you have in mind. That goal that you have been dreaming and desiring for a long time. Write your idea. Tell somebody that you know. Share with somebody that you trust and somebody that you know will encourage you. Manifest it. write it down, visualize it, whatever it is, whatever it's going to take for you to start working on that goal, whatever it takes, but do it. Dare to do it. Dare to get out of your comfort zone, because out of your comfort zone is where that dream life that you've been wanting, that's where it is. And if you do decide to start something, please share it with me. I would love to celebrate you. I would love to cheer you on wherever it is that you may be going. I love hearing stories. I may not be a storyteller, but I love being told stories. And yeah, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking this cafecito with me. Thank you for taking these 15, 20 minutes. I don't know, whatever it is. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. And remember, you don't have to have it all figured out to start. Alrighty then. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.